It is okay to let it go. Hello. Okay, let's do this because I am literally currently with yourselves in the other room doing the readathon sprint. I have recently redone my shelves, and as one does, going through every book, you're like, do I need to keep you because I am running out of space? And I actually quite often do like tiny unhauls and I don't really film them. I somehow don't want to hurt the book's feelings, even though they're going to a better home. I literally, half of these books, maybe more, are going to Logan's sister, and I know that she's going to read them and give them a good life, and then the other half is literally going to a charity shop. So for a good cause, but it's always feeling like a tiny bit of a rejection. But I have reasons. I have some reasons. And I know this content is not for everyone, but I also know that a lot of you are quite curious as to what leaves the shelves and what comes in. So I thought I'll film a little one. I don't think, well, I say a little, there's quite a few books here. And I have a lot of reasons, and a lot of them are actually because of duplications. So that's quite easy, but there's obviously other ones for different reasons. So I guess I'll let you know when we go through them. So first up is gonna be something that might hurt some people, and I know. But I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and this is also a very beautiful addition to Beat, so it hurts me. Oh, and it has the end papers. Oh, and it has like the end papers. I forgot about that. I should have maybe kept this edition. Oh, so beautiful. Damn. And it has art inside, doesn't it? Why am I... Maybe I should swap it. But I'm keeping the different version. Is just the Owl Crate, I want to say, version from a while back. Only because I've read that one physically and I have like memories attached. But it's also... I liked it, don't get me wrong. But I didn't love it, I think, as much as everyone else did. So it doesn't have that specific memory. But I might consider swapping them because I forgot that this one has art. So I might swap them around. But that other one is kind of fallen apart because like it detached from the cover, so I also would feel bad giving that copy to Logan's sister. So I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I forgot about it. And then we have a manga called Your Name. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the adaptation more. It was one of those rare occasions where I thought that it was actually better done in your kind of typical, like adapted better than... Which is odd, isn't it? So quite unusual, but it's a beautiful story. I would still recommend it. I just think that I enjoyed the movie better. And I don't think I'll continue with the comics, so I don't need to. Plus, I bought more manga and I just really needed space as well. And manga is just so tricky because there's so many volumes and it takes so much space. So I need some sort of solution. I might need to get like different shelves for it, even if I really get into it again. I have the 4 volumes of Heartstopper, and before you lose your minds, I'm only getting rid of these because I have the Fairloot editions, and these still, you know, they're gonna come out with the rest of them. I think I have 3, but there's a 4th one coming as well. I like it. Again, I like the first one a lot. I think there was one, I think maybe the 3rd one, I can't remember which one, that I also really enjoyed. I love the show, it's cute. But I don't love it enough to like keep multiple copies of. I barely love anything enough to keep multiple copies of. Like, I'm very picky. I'm not a multiple copies girly. So if I do have multiple copies, they have to mean something to me. So these are also going to Logan's sister. It's good to have people who read around you so you can swapsies. Okay, so the next ones are the Adventure Zone comics. I enjoy the first one, the second one not so much. I don't even know if I finished it. I might have. I don't remember, you know. But it wasn't as good as I was hoping for it to be, and me and Logan have both read it, and I just don't see myself gravitating to it again. So it's very much okay to be with someone else. Legends and Lattes. I really enjoyed it. It was really cozy. It was a really beautiful story. I love cozy fantasy and I love that it's getting the attention it deserves. I would highly recommend it. Not unhauling it because I didn't like it like some of the other books here, but unhauling it because I love it. But I will have the Fairloot edition instead, so this one can kindly go to someone else. It's such a quick read. Like, the font is really big here. The audiobook is like a couple of hours, so if you need a quick read as well, that one. Okay, even The Darkest Stars has somehow evaded every unhaul, but it was always like in the unhaul pile, and then I would change my mind because I thought like, oh, but maybe. And then I remember reading the first chapter and the first chapter challenge, and I was like, oh, maybe. And I think it's been so many years already that the maybe is so vague. And oh, I need to take this sticky tap out of it. It's just not gonna happen. Let's be real, it's just not gonna happen. So it is time to say, I give up. It really intrigued me because it's like in the mountains, and I do love that setting. Of all the settings that I don't love, there's so many, but I do like a mountain setting. I love hills and I love mountains, just personally, just makes me very happy. It's my happy place. Together with like any water thing, although I don't love sea settings in books because it's always so grim. It's always so like rusty and salty. I don't know what it is. It's never like, I don't know. Anyway, just so much salt. But I just don't think that that book is maybe, like I've too many years without reaching for it. Then we have an Atlas 6. This was the copy when it was still self-published. I just have another one now. I also really like it, so I will be continuing with the series. I have the second one already, and I'm very excited to get to that. Okay, now to one that I did read and I didn't like, and I think it's also time to get rid of. It's Nimona. I said pneumonia. It's Nimona. It was fine, but it was just fine. I think a lot of jokes were really trying and not all of them landed, and it was just a bit like, okay. But I think there's definitely people who will enjoy it, so I will let them have it. Jade City. Again, I feel like I have so many popular books here, people are gonna be like, and then, you know, be like, oh, okay, fine, this is fine. It's because I have the Illumicate edition. So again, it's one of the series that I really want to get into soon, but it's so intimidating because it's quite bigger, but I've heard nothing but great things about it, and that's also a bit scary. So let me know if you read it and if you think I would like it, if you know my taste, which if you are here, you probably do. Another comic that I have read, well, graphic novel that I read, and I did actually enjoy it more than some other ones, but I just don't think that I will continue with it. It was cute, but there was not much else going for it, and that is Check Please. It is an ice skating, like hockey story, and I do actually quite enjoy sportsy stories, which is funny because I'm not very sportsy at all, and it was cute and I did enjoy it, and you know, the themes were nice, but I just don't think that I need to keep it. Okay, this one I feel really mean for, and I'm so sorry, but I've just heard so many things about it that I just don't think would be things that I would enjoy. I think it suffers a lot from that trope of the guy is so massive and the girl is so small, and it is not for me. I'm not into like some sort of giant kink. I don't know, anyway. And it's a book that's almost 500 pages for a romance. It's just hard for me to think that it doesn't need to be that long, and it makes me very skeptical, so I'm really sorry. But the love deception is gonna go and be enjoyed by someone else. I'm really, really sorry. This is similar to Even the Darkest Stars because it's another one that I've gotten and then wanted to unhaul for a while, but then kept hearing maybe good things, but I just don't know that I felt like it's so beautiful though, it's so foily, but I just don't think that I will reach it. I have so many other romance books and I don't read romance that often, so if I will reach for it, this is gonna be very low in the list, and I just think that realistically I'll get new ones and this one is just gonna get lower and lower on the list, so it's just never gonna happen. And it's time to admit that. Same with this. I've had it since like 2016 or something ridiculous. The Unexpected Everything, and again, it's actually quite a long, it's 500 pages. But it had dogs, and that was my reasoning for it. And I kept wanting to try it, and then it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. This next one actually sounds really, really good, but because of things that are happening in my family and my life, I don't think that I can mentally handle it. It's Heartstream. It's a lot about illness and family illness, and just I have that in real life to deal with. I don't need no. Also have They Both Die at the end. I have been sent a copy from work, so I do have another copy. So it's one of those, again, that we just gonna put away. So there's a couple more V. Schwab books, and I think it was just time for me again to admit that I'm just not the biggest fan of the stories. I love The Darker Shade of Magic. That's my favorite of Schwab's works, especially the last book. I remember reading it so vividly and I was having such a good time with it as well. But I've read City of Ghosts, and it was interesting to me because I'm from Edinburgh and it's set in Edinburgh, and I think the interest kind of ended there. It was okay. And then I actually read The Savage Song and I liked it, but it's been so many years and I've not picked up the second one, and even if it hurts me that it is a duology, and I'm like, oh, I should read it just because it's a duology, I should stop reading books just so I finish the series. Like, that's just not the energy we're carrying into 2023, so I'm also giving away The Savage Song books too. Cinder, I will get different copies as well, so this one book that I have in paperback can go to someone else. Every Heart a Doorway, I think I kept it because I read it and I felt strongly about it in not a good way. And I kept it because I wanted to make it easier for myself to like hold it up whenever I spoke about it, because it kept like coming up in videos. And you know what, the editing EG will just have to deal with it. I mean, it's a short book, that's another reason why I kept it, but I will just edit it in. I don't need to keep it just to show it. I didn't love it. I don't plan on continuing with the series. It is okay to let it go. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, that's the copy that, oh, I forgot it. I painted the edges. That's the copy that has that weird cover that's shorter. Hated it. And love the book, but I do now have the pretty copy, so I can let go of this one. The Fallen Kingdoms. I don't remember how and why I got it, but this is the same as that Foily book where I was like, it's just so low on my list for fantasy. Let me know if I'm wrong, because I can still save this, because I'm just kind of like perplexed. It's like, when did I get this? Why did I get this? Why is it here? This is another one that I've tried reading a couple of times, I think, and I kept putting it down, so I think it's also not something I will revisit, but it's A Shiver of Snow and Sky. I have heard some decent things about it, but the fact that I kept picking it up just to start it and like very quickly putting it back down don't bode well. Truth Witch. I have 2 books from the series, but I have since lost any interest in actually reading the series. I don't think it's gonna be a series I'm gonna try, so I'm happy to let that go. Also, The Inheritance Games, I have read, I enjoyed it, and I now have the Fairloot copies as well from work, so you'll see there's a little bit of a theme, but it was definitely time for me to just get the duplicates out. The X-Hex I'm actually very interested in reading, but again, I have a different copy with like sprayed edges and everything, so it's a big theme here, okay? Now this one's so sad because I really wanted to like it, but I've read it quite recently, I think like last year. It's in my vlogs, I've spoken about it. It was very promising, but it was also very frustrating. There was so much that I didn't love about how the main character treated people with like no consequences, and maybe that was the point, but it's just not a book that I even kind of like want to see in my shelves. Like it didn't elicit any nice feelings when I looked at it, you know, so also away. This one I do feel a little bit bad about because I do remember why I got it, and I have not gotten to it, but it's because it's a pandemic type of book, and I mean, I'm living it, so I don't know if I need to read it. I have since read some pandemic books, and one of them was like How High We Go in the Dark, and it's one of my favorite books, but I don't know if I would often reach for it, and since then I did kind of lose my want to read it. But again, if you read it and if it's brilliant, please let me know, I can still save it. Aurora Rising I had since when it got released, and since then kind of lost interest in it entirely, and I kept saving it because it's pretty, it's a sci-fi, I obviously love sci-fi, but I think it is time also to just admit that it's just never gonna happen. I have so many other sci-fis, and mainly adult sci-fis, that I would rather read than this, and that's fine. You grow and you grow. Okay, and then I have a bunch of comics as well. So we have Deadpool, loved it, going to someone else because we won't reread it. Farscape, it's a random number. Logan got this from somewhere, don't need it. One of my least favorite comics that I've read, and I will not continue. The Wicked and the Divine, such amazing artwork. I'm so bummed I didn't love the story. So bummed, but I didn't, and it's time to also admit defeat. The controversy of my comic experience, wasn't the biggest fan of the Paper Girls. Maybe could reread it, but actually have a bad taste in my mouth from how people reacted to me not originally liking it, so that one's on those people. I will not reread it because I just have a bad taste in my mouth from the community. And then Lady Mechanica, I liked it enough, but I didn't like it enough to continue, which is such a shame because I think I maybe read 2 of them. Steampunk is hard for me. I think I wanted to check if it would be better if I tried it like in a comic, and it was a bit, but still not a favorite, and I just have a lot of other ones that I would like to read instead. Then we have Shades of Magic. I just won't continue, and I think there's gonna be someone out there that's gonna enjoy it way more than I did. The Tea Dragon Society, very cute. I just don't need it anymore, but it's very cute. I think a lot of people would like it. We have iZombie. I love the show, but I'm also just happy with the show. I think I read that as well and had a good time, and now it's goodbye time. Fence. I think I actually quite enjoyed it, and I read a couple on Kindle, but also just kind of served its time. This is just a duplicate. I think it's very cute. I still have one copy left, so I'm giving the other one away. This one, Embarrassment of Witches, you know I really didn't like it. It was just empty. It left nothing to me. Pretty and interesting art style, but left very little in my brain. I kissed Shara Wheeler. I'm really sorry, but this one is going to Logan's sister, so she'll probably enjoy it. It's just someone else will have maybe a better time than I did with it. In Cold Blood, I actually DNF'd. I don't think I've ever spoken about it, but I don't know if I'm a true crime girl. I know that's maybe surprising, also maybe weird, but I just found it boring. I found it so boring. I think I was on like 20% in. Maybe it was before it got good, but I just lost interest entirely, and I DNF'd it. Not even on purpose, it wasn't even a decision, I just stopped and never got back to it. The Library of the Dead, another book that I kept because it's pretty. Never once that I actually wanted to like put it in a TBR, and I think, and it's signed and everything, so whoever gets this, congratulations. Thought of the Pirate King, I have the set now, so I also don't need the previous. The Furies was a little dark academia book that it's just not gonna stay in my mind much, and I don't want to keep it. It was a very, very mediocre and predictable book. I am really sorry if you like it as well. It wasn't for me. Goddess in the Machine is the same situation as was it Aurora Rising, the other sci-fi. I think I still gilded edges. That was another reason why it stayed for so long. I'm a simple being, but I'm trying to be better with it. It's just not a book that I think I will reach for anytime soon. I just have so many others, and I will continue having other books on my priority, so I think it just makes sense to let go. And we're almost there. The World Mythology, it was a nifty little book, but I have Google and I don't actually need to keep it. And then the Hayden Game I am very interested in because I keep hearing great things about it, but I do now have the Fairy Loot copy. So that's it. That was the rapid fire unhaul. You now know what's leaving my shelves, and I hope that was somewhat interesting. I don't know. This is why I don't do the unhauls, because I always feel like this is just so silly. I'm just like, I have a different copy, so goodbye, or I didn't like this enough to DNF. I still definitely have books on my shelves that I didn't like and I'm still keeping, so who knows how my brain works, not me. But I hope that was fun. Let me know if you agree with my decisions. Let me know if you disagree. Kindly, don't be rude, don't be mean. I hope you're well. Stay awesome, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, I will make a bookshelf update tour if you want. But, alright, bye!